Hello again, it's Noob, and in front of us we have a DOM IX5 from Tallan Pick. Thank you, Tallan Pick. Going to be picking it with this flat Z bar and using it as a guide for the flat flag, so that will go up and down here, and hopefully it'll be sort of the right the right sort of guide. So lots of heavy tension on here, tons of spools. I've not looked inside this yet, but I can tell you it is not shy of spools, that's for sure. That's two, little click on two, back out to two, into a false set. Gritty false set here, don't know why. So you can see that as I put the pick tip in, I'm getting huge counter rotation on pin 3. So sets on top of pin 3. And we have set it, but it seems to have dropped the false set. So let's see if I can recover that somehow. Pin 2, 3, yeah, we got it. So on to pin 4 now. Probably the same deal. A real pick to set, no doubt. Keep slipping off the pin as well. I think we might set him. Next pin. Keep slipping off it. Try again. It's okay. We lost a full set, but I reckon we can recover it. Pin 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Got back. Pin 3's dropped again, which is a pain. Just going along pin to pin, just trying to get into a false set again. Pin 4. Pin 3. And we're open. Phew. So that was that genuinely was a fight. It really was. It's only 5 pins, but the amount of counter rotation they give you is insane. I've not gutted this. I'm going to try now. But if I was to bet, I would say that there's almost certainly some kind of very, very deep spool pin in there. So let's try and get this out of the vise, or keeping it vaguely in camera shot. Okay. Let's move this over here. and look at this. Right, so shim. I need a shim. I don't have a key. So the next best thing I can do is use a shim to make sure nothing goes wrong. The pins are all going to be here. So let's have a look at that. I'm terrible at gutting locks, so I need to make sure that I can turn it a little bit more, tiny bit more that way. Yeah, that should be okay. Right, let's remove this clip thing on the back. Aha, got it, right. Let's get a shim down here, all the way to the back. Okay, now we're probably in a position now where I could try and get this out. So let's have a go. So it's all shimmed. Turn it a tiny bit more without, there we go. Okay. Let's go for it, knowing that the pins are there. Okay, bit nervous, but we got it. Okay, so what on earth have we got in here? Why was it so crunchy when it was falling into a false set? Why is it such a pain? Let's have a look. So 1, standard. 2, standard. 3, well, standard. I think these are, they look like steel pins actually, so nothing crazy about those. They look about right, to be honest. I think they're steel pins, or they have a steel core at least, so they're anti-drill pins. They have a whatever they're made of, maybe brass with a steel core. On some of them at least. Oh, come here, you. So basically some anti-drill pins in there, which I'm dropping all over the shop. There we go. Now, what is the exciting stuff at the top? Please don't tell me it's all standards. I'm going to be really upset if it's all standards now after saying, you know, that it's full of spools and things. It must be full of spools. Nothing gives counter rotation like that. He says, almost cutting it upside down like an idiot. Okay, what's the first thing we find? Okay, 1 is standard. 2 is standard. Ah, they're not quite standard. That's why it's crunchy. These are stepped. So they will sit at the shear line. That's evil. That's why I felt that crunchiness. Yes, they're not standard pins. Ah, they look standard, but they're not. There must be some spools in here. Oh yeah, that's what we're looking at. Oh, where are you? Come back here. Very nice, very deep spools. Good stuff. That's what I was expecting to see. And yeah, all those stepped pins, those barrel pins, really explain why it felt crunchy and why I had to go back through the pack to see what wasn't setting and why it's so easy actually to nothing. So it's nothing special about the keyway there. Let's have a look at the, nothing special about the plug either, and no serrations, nothing special there. But let's look at the pins and explore for a second why it was so problematic and why it kept dropping pins. So these act sort of, these driver pins here act sort of like standard pins, but you can set them and that little lip there can sit at the shear line and block it. So you think you set it and the core moves slightly, but it sits on that little lip here at the bottom. So you can imagine that you might set a spool, but when you set the spool, because even if you have picked these will drop back down again a lot more readily than if they were just a standard pin, because they are tapered like that, and therefore much more likely to drop down. And you can see here that this one's actually an anti-drill pin as well. It's got some yeah, not all of them are. So I think it's position 2 actually. It's just position 2. These pins here seem to have an anti-drill core in. Doesn't affect picking. But yeah, that really would explain, one, the crunchiness, why it wouldn't set instantly into a full set, because it's hanging up on this little lip, and why when you're setting these spools in 3 and 4, they were so readily dropping these pins. Not all the way, just enough for that lip to rest on the shear line and stop the core from turning. What a pig! But really well made lock, I have to say, Dom. You've done well there. That was a challenge because of your excellent tolerances, I think. Not least because of the pins, but you know, the tolerances in this lock with these pins would be a whole lot harder than a more cheaply made lock. That's for sure. Okay, I enjoyed picking that. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I'll see you next time.